Hello again. I'm Loretta. Today we're going to make rice porridge, and normally we can make rice porridge from either cooked rice or raw rice. So this time, since I've cooked some rice earlier on in another video, so I'm going to use some leftover rice to cook rice porridge, and it's so simple. I normally do that with my extra rice, which I keep in the fridge, and that's one of the ways I use up my extra rice, which is overnight rice. So you can actually keep rice for a few days in the fridge and use it up as and when you go along. And rice can also be frozen in the freezer. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use cooked rice, leftover cooked rice, to cook rice porridge. The rice porridge that we have actually is quite watery and not so sticky, and sometimes we can still see the grains of rice in the gravy, the water as you call that. And there's this thing called congee, which is actually a word that is used to describe a very sticky type of rice porridge. That's the rice has been pounded and then they make it like a starch. But I'm not sure whether that's a Chinese word, because in Chinese we don't call porridge as congee or whatever. I will call it moi, and another dialect will call it be, and another dialect will call it moi, and maybe Mandarin will call it chu or something like that. Cantonese will call it chok. So I do not know where the word congee comes from, but I know the Malays call rice porridge as kanji or starch. And I think in Tamil, kanji is also starch, and they use it as a description for rice porridge, but I'm not very sure. But anyway, that's the history behind it. So let's go and see what ingredients you need to do this very simple dish and how to make it tasty. And I know I've come across some friends previously in my Weight Watchers group, and I told them about rice porridge. They said, oh no, I've been to China, I don't like it, it tastes so horrible. But actually it's not. It can be as tasty or as horrible as you make it out to be. So the ingredients are actually very simple. I have about 2 cups to 2.5 cups of white rice, plain cooked rice, which I've done earlier on in the videos. Yeah, if you have a bigger pot, it's better. And then we just add water. There's no fixed amount of water that you use. So let's say I put 1 cup. I think you can use about 6 cups. This is 4 cups, but you can add some more because it will expand. Okay, so we just put it over the stove. Yeah, we'll cook the porridge first, and then we will talk about what you want to put in the porridge. Yeah. So it's beginning to boil now. So we just take away the lid, remove the lid, open it up, and then we lower the heat a bit so that it doesn't overboil, and give it a stir. Yeah, so it doesn't stick. You have to stir it quite frequently so that it doesn't stick. Yeah. So, and then you let it boil. I think we have 4 cups of water earlier. Okay, 4 cups of water. And then you let it boil, simmer, for about maybe 10 to 15 minutes, and you got to add water if it gets dry. Right now this is actually boiling, and it's quite thick now. So you need to stir it. So I'm going to add some water. Still, you can see all these little individual rice grains. Add a bit of water. It depends on how much. It depends on how much water you want to put in. And then let it boil. So let's give it another stir. Scrape the bottom so it doesn't burn. Yeah. Move it about. So it's actually quite thick. You can see. It's very thick at the bottom. Some people like it grainy, some people like it a bit more starchy, so it's entirely up to you, yeah? Okay, let's just give it another few minutes. So this is almost done. To me it's done. You see, if you use jasmine rice, it's very sticky. It's very sticky. If you use normal A1 rice or A rice, normal long grain, then it won't be so sticky. But I'm going to add some hot water to make it a bit less sticky. Okay. So now we've got this ready. I'm happy with this. Yeah, if you want to make it like a soup, you know, to me it's like a hot soup. And you can use oats in place of rice as well if you are doing this. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to season it with some salt. Half a teaspoon of salt, just to give it a bit of saltiness, and then so we don't use so much soy sauce. So I'm going to give it a stir. Okay, so this one is ready. I'll lower the heat a bit. So you can actually serve this in whatever way you want. So what I'm going to show you is how you can serve it plain. To serve it plain, this is what we can do. What I'll normally do is add some things in here first. Add some Tianjin vegetables. This is Tianjin vegetable, yeah. So I've already sort of chopped it up a bit, so it's a bit easier. Not so big pieces. It's very salty, so it's nicer. If it's too big, it's not so nice. You can add some vegetables if you want. If you want to make the vegetables soft, you can put it now, because the hot porridge will actually cook it. Okay, will actually cook it. You can add eggs or whatever if you want. So what we normally do is I have this, then I'll season it with. I'll give it a swivel of sesame oil. Let me see, okay. Spring onion. Soy sauce. And this one is actually garlic crisps and oil, which we normally have this at home. I have this all the time, where I can use for my soup, my stir fries, and my porridge. It gives us a very lovely smell. Okay. And finally, we have some pepper. I usually use white, but I don't have white today, so I'm going to use a bit of black pepper. So it's actually very tasty. So you can eat it plain, or you can serve it with some other things. I have this thing called mock chicken, which is actually vegetarian. Yeah, mock chicken, braised bean curd. So if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you can use this. Let me show you. And you can cut it up, and you can use it for cooking. I'll put it in a plate for you. So it comes in pieces like this. I normally use it for my fried rice as well, if you're a vegetarian, or you can use it as soup, or for my fried noodles. So you can cut this into pieces, and then you can eat it with it. Yeah. So you can actually cut this into pieces, and then you can eat it with it. Yeah. Okay. There you are. Very tasty. There's actually another way of eating the porridge. So I'm going to use it to cook it with meat. So that I'll show you now. What we have here is chicken meat. Yeah, I've defrosted it a bit, but a bit of it is burned. Okay, I mean cooked. We'll put a swirl of soy sauce, some tapioca starch or corn flour, like half a teaspoon, not too much, so they'll make it smooth. And not too much will make it like slippery, too slippery, and it's like not nice, don't get the taste. Have I put in the pepper? I need to put in some pepper. Yep. Okay. I'm going to go to the pot of porridge. It's a bit thick. I'm going to put in these pieces of chicken. You can use chicken, pork, fish. You can add raw fish, raw chicken, or cooked chicken, chicken shreds. It doesn't really matter. So here we go. So make sure it's cooked. Now you can put some stock if you want, but if you don't put stock, it's also okay, because once you put the meat, it's actually very sweet. It's actually very sweet. So you let it cook. It's still a bit too sticky for me. Okay, a bit more. Now to plate up the chicken porridge, what I'll do is, as usual, we like to put our tempting vegetables. Sorry, my hand has got some ink there because I changed the cartridge of the printer. So my fingers are stained with black ink. Okay? Then, as usual, we will put the thing here. So we put the chicken porridge here. You can put it on top if you want, just to show it. But if you don't want, you can put at the bottom like this. Yeah. Actually, it's very thick. I prefer it thinner. Okay. And then you can serve with some vegetables if you want. Yeah. And then you can add some spring onion. If you have chilies, you can add some chilies. And then we have our sesame seed, sesame oil, a swirl of soy sauce, some ground pepper, and that's it. Really lovely and tasty. So until the next time, I'll share with you more quickie recipes. So I'm Loretta from Nyonya Recipe. Don't forget to click like and hit the subscribe button and also the bell button so that you can be notified every time I publish a new video. Thank you very much for your time. I'll see you again soon, very soon, tomorrow. Okay then, bye.